Why does victim blaming occur? Have you ever wondered why some people blame victims for the misfortunes they face? This question is especially relevant in discussions about liberal ideology and identity politics. Victim blaming occurs when individuals hold victims responsible for their suffering instead of looking at the broader social and systemic issues at play. At the heart of this behavior is something called the just world fallacy. This is a belief that the world is fair and that people get what they deserve. When someone experiences harm, it can be easier for others to assume that the victim must have done something wrong to deserve it. This belief helps people avoid confronting the uncomfortable truth that bad things can happen to anyone, often due to factors beyond their control. Another factor is attribution theory, which explains how people assign causes to events. When it comes to success, people often credit external factors, but when it involves failure, they tend to blame internal factors. In the case of victim blaming, this means that victims are often seen as responsible for their circumstances. This can lead to feelings of shame and isolation for those affected. Victim blaming also plays a role in maintaining social hierarchies. By blaming victims, society can justify existing inequalities and distract from systemic issues like poverty and discrimination. For example, labeling victims of poverty as lazy ignores the structural causes that contribute to their situation, such as lack of access to education and resources. From a liberal perspective, victim blaming is particularly concerning. It undermines the recognition of social injustices and the need for collective responsibility. Liberal ideology emphasizes empathy and social support, advocating for government intervention to address inequalities. Liberals argue that blaming victims shifts the focus away from holding perpetrators accountable and unfairly targets those who are already suffering. However, some critiques within liberalism suggest that focusing too much on victimhood can create a victimization bubble. This means individuals might overly attribute blame to external forces and neglect personal responsibility. Despite this, the liberal approach prioritizes addressing root causes and providing support to victims, promoting social justice and inclusion. In summary, victim blaming occurs due to psychological biases and social motives that maintain power structures. From a liberal viewpoint, combating victim blaming involves recognizing systemic factors and ensuring support systems that hold perpetrators accountable. This aligns with liberal values of fairness, equality, and social responsibility.